Today we'll be focusing on how the Kaleido Master Data Management solution is used to integrate and govern critical sets of information beyond the influence of any single source system. Just as with the Kaleido Data Warehouse, a Kaleido Master Data Management solution is automated and managed directly by the business model. Here you see a model for managing the agreements at a life insurance company. The blue boxes represent categories of information that will be managed by MDM. The gray circles inside represent the attributes of those categories. The lines represent relationships between the categories. Whether the lines are solid or dashed, and whether they have one direction or two, defines important business rules about them. The entities and relationships you see are drawn on the model with simple mouse gestures. Attributes and business rules are defined in a panel that slides out from the right of the business information model. Agreements are managed in the business context of how they interact with other domains, such as agents and agent groups, the company product hierarchy, and the customers of the business. These different domains come together seamlessly because Kaleido is a truly every domain solution that does not rely on a fixed model and is always quick to adapt to the requirements of the company. In order to manage agreements and their connections with these other data domains, we must integrate agreement data from multiple systems into a single version of the truth. The lower section of the diagram represents how two sources of agreement data, Policy Source 1 and Policy Source 2, will be integrated into the master agreements. Because Kaleido MDM is flexible, more sources can be added to the integration model at any time. Deploying this model to the Kaleido repository builds the tables and defines the business rules. Because managing master data is a business function, a business application interface is also generated. Let's log into the business consumer interface and see what deploying this application and loading some basic data has provided. In the first tab, users can search the data using wildcards. In the second, they can browse the hierarchies. The product manager for VUL Guard is interested in browsing term life agreements in his product line. Using this master view of policies, he quickly realizes that a VUL Guard life policy was sold to someone who is in a higher risk class than the policy class guidelines permit. He clicks the link to view the full master record of the policy, including who sold it. Surprised that it's an agent affiliate of his own company, the product manager raises an issue on the policy and asks the data steward to investigate. The agreement is waiting for the data steward in his inbox. The inbox organizes workflow tasks by the workflow, the category, and the workflow step. The data steward accesses the agreement master record by clicking the review link. The record is displayed in the workflow screen along with descriptive information about workflow, the next step the steward is acting in, as well as the actions he can take. In this example, the steward can make the requested change and submit it for approval, or decline the requested change and remove it from the working context. The data steward clicks the link to move to a single record view where he can make the change. First, he reviews the issue log at the bottom of the record to clarify the issue that was raised. And then he takes action by clicking the Edit button, which opens the agreement record for editing. First, he changes the issue status to Resolved and types a response to the issue. Then he moves to the top to specify when the change will become effective. Finally, he saves it and submits it for approval to the data governor. Finally, the manager of VUL Guard is notified that the change has been made. He verifies it using the consumer application. Later, another product manager is browsing the master agreement records. He sees all the currently published master information at the top. Below, he sees drill-down links to which claim system records have been linked to it. We have already linked the records to Claim Source 1, but there currently are no links to Claim Source 2. Having a link to Claim Source 2 will allow us to integrate any data from it into our master record, as well as ensure that updates from the master record are routed back to Claim Source 2. Let's take a quick peek into the tasks performed by the data stewards to match and integrate that new data source into our master agreements. Matching the Claim Source 2 records with the master agreements will require a subjective mapping of attributes. Kaleido uses the data matching module to perform these mappings. We see an example of this in the mapping rules defined at the right. To match Claim Source 2 data to the master agreements, two rules have been defined. The first rule matches on the name of the primary insured party in both the master agreements and Claim Source 2. A second rule matches records from these two categories by the name of the insurance product. Rules are created without writing any code. Simply click the pencil to open a rule for editing and check more boxes on the panel on the left to enhance any rule. The Preview tab shows how well the rules will perform at matching the new Policy Source 2 data, which is at the top, to the target master agreements, which are displayed below. The first example shows that while the primary insured names are identical, the product names are different. Despite this difference, the matching engine calculates a probability of about 81% that these two records match. In the Operations tab, we set thresholds for how the matching engine should interpret those match probabilities. The first threshold is the System Decision Threshold, which is at the center top. This is the point at which we should trust the system match. Below it is the Human Review Threshold. Below that 65% number, we don't think there is enough potential for a match to have the steward review it. In all likelihood, it's an agreement that is not currently part of our master agreements and should be added to the master through a process called promotion. Rules we established on the Definition tab are displayed again for reference at the right. We have already run this mapping and the results are displayed at the bottom. Using these rules, we were able to match 85 of the 87 agreements from Claim Source 2 to the master agreements. Two Claim Source 2 records were not automatically mapped. If match candidates above the Human Review threshold exist, they will be found in the matching basket. There, data stewards can review them and determine if these are real matches. Much like the Preview basket, the records from the source, Claim Source 2, are at the top. Potential matches in the Agreement Master are displayed at the bottom. If so, he clicks the Assign button. If the source record at the top cannot be matched to one of the suggested master records at the bottom, it is discarded from the basket and may become part of the promotion process. If a set of source records aren't clear, the data steward can select them and download them to a CSV file. The file is typically distributed back to individuals who know the source data well and contribute their expertise to suggesting matches. Once the matches are published, they will become available for reference by business stewards and for use by downstream applications like a data warehouse. In this demonstration, we have given business users the ability to participate in a governance process, as well as enabled data stewards to manage the integration of agreement data from multiple sources. These use cases represent two of the best capabilities of Kaleido MDM, combining model-driven automation and workflow-driven stewardship into a single, powerful data governance application.